Et je suis avec
And here I am with the crew from the film The Homesman, the latest film from Tommy Lee Jones, in competition at the 67th Cannes Film Festival. I'm with the director and star of the film and his wonderful actresses. Thank you very much for coming in. Tommy, welcome. Hilary Swank, thank you for being with us. Thank you, Miranda Otto and Sonia Richter. Thank you very much for coming in. And thank you for this wonderful film. It's a film which opens, Tommy Lee Jones, like a Western. We see someone laboring the earth out in a Western setting, and that person is not a man but a woman. And immediately we know that the film is going to be something different. You're focusing on women in the Western.
Yes. It's a story about women.
Et c'est ce qui vous a donné envie de ce film-là?
Is that what made you want to make this film, talking about women?
Oh, of course. I think it's very interesting. As it turns out, my grandmother and my mother, my wife and my daughter are all women. And I'm interested in them and the history of women on the west side of the Mississippi River in the United States. If we want to understand what's wrong today, a good place to start is to consider what was wrong yesterday.
C'est vrai qu'on découvre des...
Yes, indeed. We learn a lot of things we didn't know thanks to your film. It's a back-to-front journey in some ways, Tommy Lee Jones. You started in the West, heading to the East. Was that an interesting factor?
Of course it is. It's very important. It's an inverse of conventional movies about the conquest of the West.
Parce que la civilisation se plutôt à l'est.
Civilization was more in the East. Is that what you mean?
If you could call it that, yeah.
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank.
Votre personnage est
Your
un
character
de femme forte,
is a strong, independent, brave woman with a righteous moral sense. What did you like about her?
Well, all of the things that you just mentioned. I think she's multifaceted. She definitely has strong morals, good integrity. I say she goes where angels fear to tread. She's definitely someone you want on your side, yet underneath that strong interior, she has a vulnerability and just a realness that makes her so relatable and understandable from my point of view.
Elle souffre moins que les autres femmes.
She suffers less than the other women. Is that because she's alone?
Elle souffre elle-même de la
Or
solitude.
is she suffering because of her isolation and solitude?
Oh, I think all the characters suffer in their own way, just like every human being has their own suffering even nowadays. We all have our secret and the things that we struggle with, and that's what makes these characters so interesting, is that realness that Tommy Lee captured in the script and then on the screen. Those are characters that I'm always drawn to play, real characters that have a sense of inside of them that I have and that we all have. It's what makes it universal, not just an American story. And certainly it takes place in a certain time, but it also makes it timeless because these are feelings that we all know.
Tout à fait, c'est vrai que c'est assez universel.
Yes, indeed, a universal story, a timeless story. Miranda and Sonia, you play women who go crazy for different reasons. How did you work on your madness? How did you approach the role of madness?
Comment vous les avez... Vous avez fait des recherches?
Did you do research? How did you go about it, Sonia?
Actually, it was quite difficult to prepare for this part because how do you prepare for crazy? It's out of control. So, but I was actually nervous about overdoing it, and still I didn't want to do too little. So I tried to find somewhere in myself that was out of control and try to be brave enough to go there, and then trust that Tommy would stop me if I went too far. So that was basically what I was aiming for, and tried out a lot of screaming in my house, trying not to scare the neighbors and explain to them that it was the part. So.
Tommy Lee Jones, vous leur donniez
Tommy
des
Lee
limites
Jones,
comme ça?
did you
Comment
set
vous les avez dirigés?
frontiers, borders for them?
No, not beyond the frame of the lens.
Vous les laissiez libres d'apporter
You
ce
left
qu'elles
them
avaient à
free
apporter?
to bring to the film what they had to bring?
Oh yeah, that's really the way I work with actors. you just have to kind of be there to help. You find, what you want to do with an actor is find out what they do well, and help them do it. Encourage them to do what they do well, and get better if possible. And that's really about the best way to approach actors. It's important that you not ask an actor to do something they cannot do. What you really need to do is find out what they can do, and conspire to help them do it better.
Vous avez été surprise, Miranda Otto.
Miranda Otto, were you surprised when you learned the story of these women and this story which Tommy Lee was going to be telling? Was this new to you?
I wouldn't say it was new to me. I think we've all known that women through history have suffered in incredible ways and been incredibly strong and sort of a backbone of a lot of what happens in history, but often not regarded for that. So it was wonderful to read a script where you saw so much from their point of view and how much they helped create the West, really.
Il y a un appel comme ça dans votre film qui est très fort.
There's
c'est l'appel de la terre vierge.
a voice in your film, of virgin territory. Are you still, Tommy Lee Jones, still fascinated by the West? Do you always want to tell your stories in the West? And if so, why?
Well, I'm interested in history and in particular the history of my country, and that's where I was born and raised. I don't know how else to answer your question.
C'est pour en apprendre sur vous-même aussi que vous avez.
Are you filming out there to learn more about yourself?
Oh no, I'm filming out there to make a good movie. It's not about me.
Comment ça se passe quand on est face à Tommy Lee Jones?
When you're working with Tommy Lee Jones, when you're acting with Tommy Lee Jones, what's it like, Hilary?
Well, it's extraordinary, and I'm not just saying that because he's sitting right next to me, but because, you know, we've seen him in decades of films as an actor. Obviously, he really understands what he's doing. So to have that firsthand with an actor as your director, it's extraordinary. He needs just few words to be able to have you understand what it is he's trying to get across. Because he knows exactly what he's doing. And he has such a sure hand as a director as well. It's nice to see him make that cross into being a director because he understands storytelling in a rich way from having so much experience.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez découvert d'Hilary Swank en la
What did you
filmant,
discover about Hilary when you were directing her and acting with her, Tommy? What did you learn about Hilary?
She's always on time. She can read. She works hard and absolutely fearless, emotionally, mentally, and physically.
Ça a été un tournage éprouvant.
Was it a tough mission? Was it hard to do this film?
Les conditions de tournage climatiques.
Was the weather difficult to deal with?
The weather was extreme and highly volatile, as it always is in the springtime in northeast New Mexico. That could have crippled us, but for the fact that we turned it to our advantage. I was very happy for the wind, very happy for the snow, very happy for the cold, very happy for the heat. It all looks good, and the best way to have an actor look as if they're freezing is to freeze them.
C'était pas trop fatigant pour vous, ça n'a pas été
Was
trop
it
dur
not
pour
too
vous,
tiring? Was it not too? Did it not wear you out too much, ladies?
No, absolutely. We were tired, we were worn out, but that's what the characters were feeling. So again, we're able to utilize the real in the environment as to tell the story. It was wonderful, actually.
And I think it was a lot harder for the crew because as actors you get to go away and change or do other things for a down period, but the crew were out in it all day. They're just blown away all day.
Also, I think you get a real understanding of what it was like for these people in this day. We got to leave at the end of the night, have a nice hot bath and a hot meal and a roof over our head and a good night's sleep. They didn't ever get out of those elements ever, and so it really helped you understand what they were dealing with.
You know, they were brave and true.
Un peu comme vous.
Just
Merci
like you.
beaucoup d'être venu.
Thank you very much. I hope. Anyway, thank you very much for being here, Hilary Miranda Sonia. Tommy Lee Jones, thank you. Well done for your film. It's called The Homesman, in competition at the 67th Cannes Film Festival. Let's take a look at the trailer.